Good morning. Good morning. How's everybody? Sorry, guys. I literally just rolled out of bed, made some coffee, and jumped online. Can you hear me okay? Good morning, George. Good morning to. Look, dang. Looks like we got a full house. Indy Pam. Good to see you. Shooter. Shooter McGavin. Good to see you. Shooter. Susie. Sloopy. Hey. Haven't seen you in a while. Lauren. How are you doing? Lauren, I might need to. Since you're from that area, I might need to ask you some questions today. Let me pull it up on the screen. So I was going through a lot of the Facebook posts from when the girls went missing and from the morning after and things like that. So we'll kind of start off today's live stream going through that stuff. I'm just talking about it. All right. So who are these people? We have a Kyle Smith with a Michaela Babcock. And on the 14th, they're saying didn't find any leads. No evidence so far. They called off the search for tonight. Spent about 2.5 hours with Delphi police and fire looking and searching the High Bridge area. Continued search in the morning and all day as far as I'm concerned. So this seems like a strange thing to be concerned about while you're looking for two missing living people, right? Leads. You're concerned about leads and evidence. I don't know. To me, that seems strange. I could be way off. What do you guys think about that? Miss Dog Lover, hello. Lauren, do you know these people? I would like to know their relationship with Libby or Abby or Libby and Abby. Miss Dog Lover, good to see you. Heather Marie, hello. And Carrie Ann, sorry for booting you from Discord. I will send you another link. I was just clearing out some names that were inactive, and I think I may have clicked yours by mistake. But anybody that's been reaching out to me wanting to get back into the Discord, I just send them a new link. So sorry about that. Keep a lookout for that. Teresa, good to see you. Miss Thing, Heather Marie, Julianne Friend, Tina, Hippie, Mother of Dragons. Good to see you guys. Hope you're enjoying your Sunday. Tina's asking, Sleuth, do you still have access to the video of the Amish man and boy on the bridge? I don't think they're Amish. Those are J. Kyle Keener's family members. But yeah, I do have that. Why do you ask? I'm looking for it right now. Yeah, here it is. This one? Yeah, this was taken from the morning of the 14th by J. Call Keener. Those are his people that are just kind of tagging along with him while he's trying to cover the story. And maybe help with the search. Thank you, Slippy. Good morning, George, Jinx, V. Marie. Good to see all you guys. Let me zoom down here. There we go. Hey, Lauren, there is a Kyle Smith who works for a funeral home here in Logan that was over helping looking. I don't have Facebook to check if that's him. Funeral home? Doesn't that Cheyenne girl work at a funeral home or something? Or mortuary? Or is that the same thing? Thank you, Lauren. Yeah, it's very strange wording. Like, why are you looking? I can understand the word leads, but why are you concerned about leads and evidence? It's really weird. Shouldn't you be worried about like where they might actually be? Um, maybe they actually did call and tell somebody like, "Hey, I'm going here," but we just haven't gotten that communication yet. Shouldn't you be more focused on things that the living do as opposed to evidence and leads of some type of crime? So to me, that's like having prior knowledge of a crime. That's what they were trying to hit Ron Logan with, isn't it? Thank you, Miss Thang. Check out the merch there at that link. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, why leads and evidence? It's a strange thing to post at 1 or 2 a.m. in the morning. Hey, Eric, they must have been covered up with leaves or something. I just find it strange that they weren't spotted. Well, we know that, well, we don't know, but we heard that Libby may have been covered, like her upper half. And if she was, I think her upper half, she was naked. So if this person knew her or had any connection to her, they might feel really guilty after, the fact that they they did what they came to do, and for whatever reason they could not control it, and now the guilt is setting in. So I don't know if it was as much as concealing as it was really just probably guilt and not wanting to see her exposed anymore. What have I done? Because we know that, well, we don't know, but we hear once again that Abby was kind of sat up against a tree or something next to her, hands folded, hood up. We get that from the Erskine text. So I mean, why do that if you're trying to conceal one and then you have the other one right next to her? So to me, that if that's how it played out, to me there was a violent crime that took place at one spot, most likely with Abby. If what Erskine says is true, there's a crime that took place probably somewhere under the bridge, maybe on the south side of the creek, and then that's when he took off after Libby. Maybe a fight in the water. I just don't understand why her clothes are there. It's very possible that they didn't fight in the water. There was a chase through the water, and later on he came back and threw the clothes or dropped the clothes for whatever reason there, or tried to throw them in the water and they got caught up. But yeah, so it makes me think that there was a crime over here, a chase over here, and then a second situation was going on to where the killer was alone with Libby. He's alone with her at this point, and he's thinking, "What have I done? I'm panicked." Um, and I think that's why we get all these strange signatures and the moving and the staging, because I think it's all out of panic. Maybe, I don't know. A lot of people are not great writers. Missing kids is ominous. Evidence leads could mean did they leave with friends or evidence of an accident that had been missed. But what are you looking for evidence of? What are you looking for evidence and leads of? You know, if they're just at another friend's house, what? How is that evidence or a lead? A lead to what? If nothing's happened, obviously they're just somewhere where they shouldn't be, right? And they're in big trouble. We heard Becky, Anna, everybody said they're, in our minds, they were in big trouble when we find them, for making us worry and for not communicating. They're grounded. They weren't looking for leads or evidence. They were grounded. See, that's where the mind should have been. You're still living and you're grounded when I find you. Not leads and evidence, sorry. But that's just my opinion. Hello, hello. Good to see you, Anna, Eric's Plot, Vacina, Matt H, and Copper Horse in the house. What up? Did you have a question about it, Tina? Yeah, this photo was taken by J. Kyle Keener between 9 and 10 a.m. of the 14th, the day the girls were found. So this picture was taken probably an hour or so prior to them being located. Anna says when two young girls vanish, crime would always be a part of the worries, thus evidence and leads. I don't think crime is part of the worries. Maybe the next day, but not at 2 at night. Maybe the next day where you don't get a call or anything like that. There was no reason for anybody to think that anything bad happened to those girls. In my opinion. I'm not sure what this is. This was something I had like shoved in the back. I think I got it from a some hotel. It's a very vanilla-y. Vanilla. No, I'm out of coffee. My wife is she's going to hit the grocery store today. I thought I had a backup, but usually I drink Dunkin' Donuts. Honestly, it's more the ganja and the good sleep. I went to bed early last night. I woke up feeling very rested. I hit that REM sleep and I had a really cool dream. Evidence could be that someone saw the girls get into a car with friends. Hey, whatever floats your boat, Anna. I mean, you had the mom saying she's grounded. She didn't say, "Oh, I'm looking for evidence." To me, that's polar opposites. One is appropriate, one seems inappropriate. That's just my opinion. I'm not saying the guy is part of the crime. I'm just saying it's very suspicious for somebody to say they haven't found any evidence. Evidence of what? That they went to a friend's house and forgot to call? Is that the evidence you're looking for? Come on now. I'm cool with stretching things one way, but, not stretching and wrapping it around the corner. Did I miss your follow-up question? Yes, that's it. Is it just me? Is it just I'm still confused what you're trying to say about this image here. Brandon, what's up? Good to see you. Looks familiar. In what way, Tina? Please just stop beating around the bush so I can take this image off the screen. It looks familiar. Oh, is this the one where they supposedly photoshopped Abby in it, even though this photo's facing south and her photo was facing the other way? Wow. That got debunked really quick. Thanks, V. Yeah, we're setting up the next members meeting. I haven't been able to pin down our next guest, but I've been reaching out to people and we'll see if they get back to us. We will be doing a live stream Wednesday with Tim Corbett, public live stream. And we're going to talk about a lot of cases, Florifiers, Delphi. We're going to talk about Evansdale, Jordan Sofer. Um, I asked him, hey, here, these are the cases that we've been looking at. These are the cases that my members, my subscribers are wanting you to take a look at. He said, let's just look at all of them. Let's hang out. We'll pull up all the information. And I'll give you my opinion. So after talking with him, we're just going to hang out. We're going to talk about all those cases and see what he has to say about it or what his initial thoughts are. That sounds like fun. I'd guess the killer's mind was more on, oh shit, I need to cover up the crime so I can get away. Yeah, crime stuff, right? Like evidence, leads, and shit. That's why I always thought it was so irresponsible and unprofessional for Tobe Lesenby to tell the public they're not at risk or not to worry when they didn't have the guy yet. What's up, Kate? I think Tobe came out and talked about that. I think he said he just didn't want people to worry, and he was right. What he's saying is that they don't have a madman who's just killing indiscriminately, you know. What he's saying is that this was a targeted attack. There was a motivation behind this killing, and he doesn't think that this person's motivated to go out and do it again immediately. Are you in danger? Well, yeah. I mean, you need Tobe Lesenby to tell you whether or not you're in danger, then you got bigger problems. If you don't do anything without Tobe's permission, you got issues. Every community is at risk. That's why we have this true crime podcast. That's what we're here to talk about. We are at risk. Our kids are at risk. Our women are at risk. Our men are at risk. People are risky. Um, we have abuse being passed down. One monster creating another monster, only for that monster then to have children of their own, turn them into monsters. CSAM is out of control. We have children being sextorted into depression, motivated into secrecy, living with these lies. So we have all of these people getting busted for the CSAM. Imagine what's not being revealed. So yeah, we're already at risk. I mean, you don't need Tobe Lesenby to tell you if you're at risk or not. We know we're at risk. There's a whole genre called true crime. You should check it out. Julia Burns, what's up? PCA mentions them being moved and staged. To me, seems as if they had some inclination to the killer's motive. I'm starting to. This kind of leans more towards the lone wolf theory because we don't really know the motivation. But if he committed a murder, he has two victims. To me, the only way one perpetrator is able to commit or create this crime scene is by moving and staging. So he committed one murder over here, had to chase the other victim, and then had to come back, grab that victim, which was most likely the lighter person, take her to the other crime scene, consolidate that crime scene, and try to hide it now. That would be moving and staging. Remember, the moving and staging doesn't have to be motivated. It could be done out of panic. It could be done to mislead. It could be done to shock. or it could just be done after the crime. Something that wasn't necessary to commit the actual act. So after you've completed the act, if you start doing anything after that, that's staging and stuff like that. Miss Dog Lover says evidence. Yeah, it's like he's waiting for evidence. Like evidence of what, man? That points at you? Shouldn't you be more concerned about where they're at, and why they're in big trouble? Maybe this guy's just cynical. Okay, so I think we're done with this image. I'm not sure what's going on with that. All right, so I found 4 different posts from this guy, Kyle. I just don't know who he is. I don't think I've ever heard the name before until recently. Kay says Lesenby said that while he had no one in custody and didn't even know who they were looking for, could have given assurance this won't happen again. They've handled this case as bad. I agree. I think they were overwhelmed. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. This case is just really strange. From A to Z, I don't know what it is. It's like from the handling of the case to the people involved. I don't know. Like I'm saying, from A to Z, it is just strange. Thank you, Miss Stang. Appreciate that. I have great mods, by the way. So do we know the age of Kyle? He was 18 at the time. I looked up the dude today. He was 18 at the time. Got hit with a minor consumption a few days prior, and he was partying with some adults. So here's another one. And Michaela, that's who is that? That's Libby's cousin? Friend? I've heard that name before, Babcock. I think there's a lot of Babcocks in Delphi. Tiger Lily, hello. It depends on the girls. They were not rebellious party girls, so everyone acted quietly. I don't know. Some kids can keep a secret. Like I tell my mom some stories of how I was when I was a kid around that age, and she just plugs her ears like la la la, like she had no clue. Indy says Dunkin' is my backup. I'm a Folgers kind of gal. Nope, I only mess with that Dunkin' Donuts. It's the only coffee that really has like a pickup to it. I don't know, it's good quality. Miss Thing says I still can't wrap my head around them not finding the girls that night. Hippie says, "What was your dream?" It was just like walking through this. I don't know. Looked like there was no buildings. I was far away from like a city. It was like a wilderness, but it wasn't a lot of woods and trees. It was just more like a field. And I was just walking through it, and it kind of kept changing. That's all I remember from it. And I haven't been dreaming that much. So I was like, yes. I woke up feeling refreshed. And usually when you go in, and you have a wake up and you had a dream, some kind of dream, usually you got some kind of decent sleep at least. Thank you, D. Yeah, Tim is a really cool guy. He's old school. I'll try to text him and he's like, give me a call. Like, all right. Like I tried to send him all this information about the Jordan Sofer case. This is how I operate, because I'm not like, I'm an amateur investigator. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I just look at information, try to put things together. So I'm just like sending all this information thinking it's helpful. And really, it's just probably confusing. It's like, I don't think he works that way. So it's good to have people around like that can kind of help you out. Jerry, what's up? Grizz in the house. Good to see you, Grizz. Jamie Hicks. Hey, Jamie, I forgot to give you a shout out at the end of the live stream the other day because you did call in. I was giving a shout out to all the people that called in to the true crime call in, and I forgot that you called in earlier. So shout out to you too. Andrew's saying, I feel like people throw those words around without too much thought. Yeah, and I get what you and Anna are saying. Like he's in that mode, like he's trying to be helpful. He's like, I'm gonna figure this out. I'm looking for leads and I'm looking for evidence. Like I get it. It's just a strange place to be when two of your friends or your loved ones or people you care about. I think it's strange to assume that they're dead or that there's evidence or leads leading to some type of crime. But I'm leaning one way and you're leaning the other way, and we're both probably missing what it really is. But I'm open to that. Could be, Indy. All right, let's keep moving on with these. Big Fish, what's up? Yeah, shout out to Kristen Beyond the Crime Door. Thanks for inviting me out. Lauren says, and she's from that area. You all understand how chocked full of idiots this area is, correct? Lots of trash. And this is boots on the ground, guys. Boots on the ground. Kay says, I don't know how they plan on getting around putting out the younger sketch and say that's the man they're looking for. Yeah, how are they going to get around? Why have they not addressed it? Like it's obvious the older looking sketch looks more. And I don't want to get into a debate. Do these sketches look? I mean, none of them really look like Richard Allen. They're not supposed to. But which one resembles him more? Is it the one with the rounder chin with the goatee? Looking kind of older, like 40, anywhere between 40 to 50? Or is he this young guy with the pointed chin and curly hair? No, he's not. Yes, the eyes on the younger sketch look like Richard Allen. And if his mouth was covered, why? Oh, okay. I'm just going to go ahead and guess he has this weird, pointy, rounded, bottom chin. Nothing like Richard Allen. Yeah, I agree with that. All right. So this person here, Michaela Babcock, I think that's a friend of Libby, says, at daybreak, I asked Kelsey German to let me know. So it looks like they were sent home and they're waiting for the sun to come up and they're going to jump back out there. Kelsey says all they said was daybreak. So they booted all these people out, that could get hurt, volunteers, family members. I promise I'll be out as soon as the sun comes up. And then here's that Kyle Smith guy again. He says, I'll be out as soon as I get out of court. I don't know. It's just like rubbing me the wrong way. It's like pissing me off. Like these guys are all talking about finding her, and this fucking guy, I'll be out as soon as I get out of court. Ha 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 ha. I don't know. I think he might just be like, might just be his style. I don't think I like his style. Let's see. And then Michaela Babcock says, just let me know, Kels, so I can be out there with you. We're out driving around now. So that's late at night on the 14th, before daybreak. Here's a Kyle Smith guy on February 15th. Kind of looks like this man standing by the tree with the arrows pointing at him. Share this, everyone. Then he posted this. I don't know. That kind of does look crazy, huh? Kind of looks like a guy standing there with his arm wrapped around. Strange image. I don't know if they were in a gang or not. I don't know where this guy's from. I don't know who this person is. I just know he's 18. He was arrested in Delphi for minor consumption. October, I believe, of 2016. And a person that is friends with Richard Allen apparently was hosting that party. And he got arrested as well. Got into a fight with a cop, too. The guy in the Punisher t-shirt that we see standing next to Richard Allen. Who is it in Frost's video where he's playing pool? So apparently that guy in the Punisher shirt was with this guy, Kyle Smith, when he got a minor consumption. And then I think he got in trouble for facilitating. That's all on my case. Jerry says Starbucks espresso blend all the way. I love Starbucks espresso. I get me the triple shot often, and it has to be the whole bean. It's way better than when you grind it right before you make it. I agree with that. I have a grinder. It's a little electric grinder. Let's see. Susie says October 8th. Yep, 1:06 a.m. That's it. Wow, you're quick. Minor alcohol consumption, 404 West Summit Street, Delphi, Kyle Smith, 18. Yep, that's the one. And if you go down one more, are you looking him up on MySpace or are you looking up police calls? If you look up the police calls, you'll see the next call is the same address. It's the guy in the Punisher shirt, and it's like something like facilitating and then resisting arrest or some shit. There's also some kind of report on it out there. Susie's reading this is the police call report. Smith exhibited signs of alleged alcohol beverage consumption. Deputy Drew Yoder investigated the comment. So this here again is examples of young kids partying with older people. So if we have Richard Allen's friend partying with Kyle Smith, who is a friend of Libby, that could be a connection. That could be what we're looking for from the 3rd to the 12th. We know they're having 3-day weekends. They're spending nights at other people's homes. Now, if they're sneaking out or if they're hanging out with their 16, 17, 18-year-old friends and their older friends are hanging out with much older people who are getting them alcohol and facilitating, a party or whatever. That seems like a good place for someone like a Richard Allen to maybe see Libby or Abby for that matter. Just a thought, though. Case says Logan made himself out to be the victim who served years in solitary confinement over this. And the truth of the matter is, he was in jail for a couple months and was back out on house arrest. He lies a lot. Yeah, he really didn't have it that bad. And he was a habitual offender. But I think the part that he didn't deserve was the FBI. They pretty much lied in a probable cause affidavit. I mean, there's a lot of things that we know that are not true. The girls weren't dropped off at 1 p.m. Says that in the Ron Logan affidavit. So how can we believe anything that's in that affidavit? It looks really targeted. So I can see Ron Logan being upset about that stuff. But I mean, he got arrested again on the 27th of February for being out drinking. So he didn't learn his lesson from that situation, the 13th, him being running around driving when he shouldn't be. But just a few weeks later on the 27th, he's at a bar drinking. So yeah, he had his own other issues. Yeah, you got to be able to separate the two. Shout out to Susie for finding that very quickly. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's the one I read. And if you look a little bit further on that list, you'll find the guy that I'm referring to in the Punisher. I don't want to throw his name out there because you know how social media is. But I mean, it's a strange thing. And I'm not throwing this Kyle Smith guy's name out there. I found these. I Googled these. These are. I typed in Facebook posts, Delphi murders. These pop right up. But this is the one that I wanted to talk about. And this is the one that had my attention. Then I'll get back to the comments here. Okay, so February 25th, 2017, this Kyle Smith guy appears to be the only person who noticed. Because we weren't talking about it. Nobody in Delphi was talking about it. Nobody knew Keegan and Tony Klein's name. But Kyle Smith did. He's the only one on top of it. Kyle Smith, February 25th, 2017. FBI searches Peru home in relation to the Delphi double homicide. He gets 1 like and 3 shares. We all know who was searched that day, right? And that article is still active. WLFI.com. I believe that's Wish. FBI searches Peru home in relation to the Delphi double homicide. That's the Canal Street home of Keegan and Tony. So while we're all out here trying to figure out what the hell's going on, they searched the Maxwell residence, they searched Logan, they searched this, and that. We never talked about Tony Klein, because if we would have been focused in on this search here, we would have been like, okay, where was the search? Oh, okay, Canal Street. Okay, who owns that home? Oh, Tony Klein. Okay, who else lives there? Oh, he lives with his son, Keegan Klein. Okay, who's he associated with? It would have spiraled out of control from there. But nobody took notice but Kyle. I had to go back and find any art. There's only 2. There's the Wish, and then there's this one here. This one's more detailed. But there are only 2 reports out there about this search. We weren't talking about Keegan Klein until they dropped the Anthony Shots information. And they gave us a clue. And they wanted us to find him. All right, this is FBI searches Peru home regarding Delphi homicides. Nothing found. This is from Fox 59 Web, posted February 25th, 2017. About 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Peru, Indiana, FBI agents searched a Peru home after receiving information regarding the killings of 2 Delphi teens. According to an FBI spokesperson, Wendy Osborne, A state search warrant was executed Saturday afternoon on a home on Canal Street in the city of Peru. After conducting the search, the federal agents determined that the home has no connection to the deaths of Liberty German and Abigail Williams. This is the second search warrant issued by the Bureau as part of a double homicide investigation. No arrests were made in connection with the February 16th search of a Delphi home. So at this point, they had only searched. Did they search Ron Logan? No, on the 16th was the Bicycle Bridge Road, right? So at this point, they'd only searched the Maxwell home and the Klein home. So I wonder if there was any connection there. Special Agent Osborne says the FBI is fully committed to the case, and the Bureau will execute additional search warrants as they deem necessary. Okay, so the most important search, in my opinion, besides, of course, Richard Allen, was the Klein search. And we know that they raided Klein's home again while he was incarcerated just a few weeks prior to his Barb McDonald interview. They raided Tony Klein. A lot of people don't talk about that. So I found it interesting that Kyle Smith was fully aware of this search here and on top of it. I don't know. I find that very suspicious. Morning, Ruckus. So before we move on, get your opinion on those Facebook posts and if they mean anything, or if you think it's strange that this Kyle guy was on top of what was going on with Keegan Klein. Shit, maybe he's just a good investigator. Banter line. Yeah, there are a lot of similarities for sure. Yeah, Norman DeWinter. Man, that's basically Derek Godsey. He seems to have been on to some things, early on. Don't ever judge a book by its cover. Sometimes the presentation isn't there, but the information's there. Or potentially. Kay says, why was everyone so underwhelmed when announced they finally found the killer? Today is the day he finally arrived, and it seems like people didn't feel too sure it was him. They looked more depressed than anything. Well, I mean, it's confusing because they probably knew that Richard Allen had come forward early on and that he was no longer a person of interest. So they might have had that in the back of their mind, even. It's just frustrating. You told us you were looking for a younger guy between 18 and 40. But early on, the description of the man was between 5'6" and 5'10", which is accurate. They're looking for an older sketch, which is accurate. So you got to ask yourself, why the hell are they moving from something we now know is the truth, that it is an older looking person? Why are you moving from the truth towards a younger person with curly hair, no facial hair, obviously a different jawline than Richard Allen? Why are you looking for this guy and calling the older sketch secondary? Oh, I think we have a super chat. Let me zoom on down here. Cindy Lean, thank you. Really enjoyed the show last night on Kristen's channel. Great panel. Yeah, shout out to Ruckus, Deb, and Kristen. Yeah, it was an honor to be hanging out with those guys. Good morning, high cheeked bone Kent. Noths. See, I haven't heard those names. I've heard the name Michaela because she's friends. I think maybe even like family. I'm not sure. Cammy, hello. Is Libby's cousin. See, I knew it. I know there's a relation there somehow. Margaret's asking, did her phone ping there at Klein? Because this is an indicator that believed they were taken at the photo time or close, yet it's pinged in town. No, I don't think they would have taken them all the way to Peru and back. They wouldn't have had enough time. From the moment they met the girls, the suspect met the girls on the bridge at 2:15. Muddy and Bloody Guy was spotted at 4. So it's an hour and 45 minutes. I think it's going to take you at least 45 minutes? So it'd be a 45-minute drive to Peru and back. I could be wrong on that. R&B, what's up? Yeah, that's going to be crazy. They're going to televise this case. You're going to have Richard Allen's face plastered all over the television. Man, you thought this case was strange. Wait till that shit starts happening. Happy Sunday, BN. Have a great day at work. Oh, super sticker from Boston Christian. Thank you so much. Legion got a new face. Make the connection the other day. Yeah, this information is all new to me. I've only seen it here just in the last few days. But you had people like Norman DeWinter, aka Derek Godsey, talking about this shit like years ago. Not saying it has any relevance. I just think it's interesting. Something to point out. Anna says when the arrest was announced, family looked shocked and devastated, like they had not slept for a long time. I wonder if they had to identify some very personal evidence found in Richard Allen's home. Yeah, it kind of looked like they had that defeated look, but they had no clue how they were going to feel. You know, they thought they were going to be jumping on the rooftops, popping champagne and things, but I have a feeling when it was presented to them, it was like, hey, this isn't over. Like, we have an uphill battle. Like, we didn't want to charge him because we didn't have enough, and we still really don't have enough. You know, we have a lot, but it may not be enough. We have an uphill battle, and we now believe that others are involved. So we have an uphill battle in court with the suspect in custody. And then on the other hand, we still have an open investigation where we potentially have an even more violent offender out there. It's like hanging by a thread. Beach Fairy says, yeah, that's the thing, making the other sketch secondary and not dismissing it. Why? And why not just dismiss the whole Keegan Klein stuff? You know, they asked Doug Carter, what's going on with Keegan Klein? He's like, we're going to continue to work with Keegan Klein. We're going to continue to work on that. Almost as if it's still a part of the case. He's not like, no, you know, we cleared him, or you know, we're not really. He could have easily said like, we're not really focusing too much on Keegan Klein, or we're not spending much time on Keegan Klein, because they said that about Ron Logan and they said that about Daniel Nations, you know, and they pretty much said that about the older sketch. You know, we're not focusing in on too much on that right now. We're focusing on this. That's not what they said with Kagan. They said, we're going to continue working on that. Banter says people need to stop looking at cases solved in 1 hour shows. What do you mean? I don't think people should stop looking at any cases. This is, if anything, it's human behavior. We need to, as people, we need to start evolving. We have a genre of true crime dedicated um, to crimes that happen every day in every city, every small town, every city in America, across the forget America, across the world. You have murders, sexual assault, kidnappings, mass attacks. If we don't learn and try to understand why it's happening, it's just going to continue. I think Frank sent me this. I could be wrong. I don't know if it's Frank, but apparently this is Richard Allen's birth father. So that would make his name Gorham, Rod Gorham. So apparently he was adopted. I don't know. Maybe that's was his angle with Libby. I was adopted too. Stephanie Michelle says, I watched the show Scary People, and early on they cleared suspects, but when new evidence came out, they arrested them. Well, there was a case. I can't remember the victim's name. She was a young girl. She was kidnapped in a small town. There was a bridge involved, and she was found right by the bridge. And there was staging and all that kind of stuff too. But what happened was they went out and they searched for the girl at this bridge area, and they didn't find anything. The killers came back and they used it as a dump site because they knew it had just been searched, and they put the victim's shoes on top of the bridge to make it look as if she fell. Or no, they carried her up there, and I think they threw her off of the bridge or something along those lines. But then a hunter, he was making a long trek, like a following day or something, back out through that direction, and he saw the body. Well, the two people that ended up being involved in the murders, I think they were brothers or cousins. Well, they were their first suspects. Like, hey, these are the prime suspects right here. These two guys, we need to go check them out. And some dumbass investigator said, oh, no, it couldn't have been those guys. I checked. They were in jail. They were in jail at the time of the murders. This is how simple it happens. And this is probably maybe what happened with the conservation officer. It's like just one trusted source dictates, something that you're going to do next that will change the direction of everything. So this case went cold. Cold case investigators pulled up the information, and they double checked everything, and they double checked that these guys were not in jail, that there was some paperwork that was misfiled. There was a incorrect date or something like that, and they found out that these guys were free, and that they were the ones. They got a confession and everything. So you have a cold case that's damn near 10, 15 years old, and the entire time they had the suspects. So it's just frustrating to hear about stuff like that. Legion says, I'm becoming very concerned about a trial in this case. Seems to me, in my opinion, the only evidence is circumstantial, or Allen would have pled already. Then again, OJ trial was up against solid DNA evidence. Yeah, it really depends. And we don't know what they found during the search. They're extremely confident. And we know that they took a lot out of the probable cause affidavit, and everything that we know, plus some at the time we didn't know, is in the probable cause affidavit for Richard Allen that they did release. So look at all the plethora of information that's in the probable cause, which included new information to us. and they're still telling us that they withheld a lot of information. So imagine what we don't know. Um, Imagine what they found during the search, and they're very confident that other people are involved. So I'm not concerned about the trial at all. I don't think it will go to trial. I think the defense is doing everything they can to better Richard Allen's situation. Kudos to them. I mean, if somebody's accusing me of a horrible crime, I wish I would have a defense like that. So they're doing everything that they should, and I don't care if they pamper him. They can spoil him for all I care. But the truth is, he's not being mistreated. There's nothing. The case isn't in jeopardy, and if anything, um, in my opinion, he's going to roll over. This is all part of that. This is the death roll. It's the final. It's the final breath of who Richard Allen used to be. You know, he was somebody who was living in guilt and fear of arrest and, being shamed. He's slowly, in my opinion, transitioning into somebody of acceptance, somebody who is having a realization. And eventually we're going to hear some names. We're going to know exactly what happened. And then we may have a real trial at that point. Yeah, I agree with that, Anna. If he had some kind of weird trophies or, I don't know. So yeah, I think his birth father, Roger Gorham. Just a little tidbit for you guys. This was done by the Photoshop Surgeon. If you guys aren't subscribed to that channel, I recommend it. It's pretty cool. Kind of brought the sketch to life. Oh yeah, that's a good point, Glitter. Glitter says the family finds out that the guy who is arrested for murdering their girls has a family, works at CVS, and has a daughter of his own. What a nightmare. Yeah, not only that, but their family members play pool with his wife sometimes. Um, I guarantee they know who this person is. They've seen him, they know him, they have mutual friends. That's got to be extremely upsetting. Stephanie says Ron Logan didn't seem creepy at all, and he seemed genuine to me. You know what? I couldn't place it. I couldn't figure him out. There was some times where he seemed genuine, and then sometimes he would say some strange things. Like he would go when he would talk about the crime scene, he would go into a very visual place. Like he would hold his hand out in front of him, and he would kind of like he was painting a picture. He's like, they were right there, and he had his arms out in front of him. He's like he was visioning it, like he was going into a very visual place. That's the only thing that stood out to me. Other than that, it seemed very genuine. But when he would talk about the crime scene, he would go somewhere, and he might have just been going back to when he first saw them. I don't know, but for him to get, it's like it pulled him there. That was my only observation. The hell do I know? Outside of the Grid, what up? Go check out Outside of the Grid. Great channel. Can you imagine the plea deal Richard Allen could make? Yeah, I wonder what kind of deal he could make. I mean, murder is murder. He's part of that. What would they do? I wonder if the deal is in the sentencing part. Indiana is a very strange place. I'm confused by it, honestly. Hey, Matt. Shout out to the Honor Project with Matt Sullivan. Good to see you, buddy. How are you? Indy, what do you do with morals? Do you cook them? Do you eat them? Are they magic mushrooms? What's up with those things? I know mushroom hunting is huge in Indiana. Mushroom hunters found Jordan Sofer's body. Oh, Banterline says the CSI show solve crime in an hour. Yeah, the first 48. Sometimes you'll hear like the lead investigator. He'll just lay it all out. He'll be like, okay, somebody had to let them in, so they know this person. And then what I think happened is there was an argument here, and we can see the point of impact. And I think this person stumbled from that point and fell over here. Like they call it from the beginning, and then at the end of the show, that's exactly what happened. They knew the killer. They're asking like the only surviving witness is like a 9-year-old or something who's been stabbed. And they're like, yeah, it was my uncle. My uncle killed my entire family. And without that surviving witness, they would have never known. They had the guy in there interviewed. They had the killer in protective custody with the family. So the guy who killed the other family, who would be motivated to kill the living witness, was in protective custody with that witness. Man, this shit is really scary. Killers, they're killing because they're a different type of person. This different type of person is also somebody who could possibly show no signs of guilt. This guy was being interviewed by law enforcement. This guy was being consoled by family members. Turned out he killed like 3 kids and 3 adult relatives. Shot the adults till he ran out of ammunition and then stabbed the kids. The uncle. Well, we are at the hour mark. Let me see if I had anything else for you guys. No, I think that's it. So we'll just hang out in the chat here for another 5-10 minutes. Hey, what's up, Courtney? How you doing? We got Brittany in the house. Beach Fairy. Wasn't Richard Allen picked on in school? His granddad was principal. I didn't know that. Some good background information. Where'd you get that, Beach? I'd like to take a look. Karen, hello. Do you think the public will actually get to know the truth, the reason why, also the reasons the perpetrator did the things he did? I hope so. Unfortunately, in most cases, you're not going to hear everything. There's going to be some secrets that are even maybe only something that the killers know personally that they didn't even share with the other perpetrators. That's just the way it is. Not everything's going to come out. I just hope Richard Allen and whoever's involved, I hope they explain to the family, why did you do this? How could you do this? What motivated you and who was involved? Like, why would you do this to those poor girls? I mean, if you really think about what happened to those girls, it is a nightmare. Think about what happened and then put yourself, and I don't care if you're a grown ass man, put yourself in that situation. What happened to those girls is not right. And they need to know exactly what happened, who was involved, and how something like that could ever happen. I mean, this is not a movie. Yes, it's true crime and there's an entertainment aspect to everything. But what happened to those girls was a nightmare, and I fear for my children on a daily basis. And we got to figure out how to stop it. We got to figure out how to prevent this. We got to figure out how to help these killers and these people more responsibility in their life to prevent it. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's just the way we live, society. Um, we're getting further and further away from God. Um, I don't know. Things are just people need to take personal responsibility. Don't wait for Tobe Lesenby to tell you, to be afraid. Yes, you guys need to be afraid. You're your own person. We're all created equal. You have your own mind. You have your own discernment. You know whether or not you need to be concerned about something. You don't need another man to tell you, another man or a woman to tell you how you should be feeling and how you need to protect your family. Good point, Banterline. Being human, I can understand even the conservation officer took down so much information others missed the Allen evidence. When it comes to the conservation officer, what it leads me to believe is that he took down the information on either the night of the 13th or the day of the 14th, prior to the bridge guy information being released. There was no reason for your mind to grab that piece of information unless you had the other information already in your brain, because then it would have made the connection. But there is no connection. It's just a piece of information on top of other people that you probably interviewed, and then stacked a few other interviews on top of that. If you don't have the bridge guy video and the bridge guy image and the information of when the girls went missing, when they were dropped off, all that stuff, we didn't learn all that till later. If this conservation officer doesn't have that and he's just looking for missing girls or looking to talk with anybody that was at the bridge, I could see him overlooking that. That's the only way I can explain it. Um, the only other explanation is that he's complicit. So, I mean, to me, Richard Allen came to this conservation officer either the 13th or the 14th, prior to the video and the image being released. Yep, me too, Legion. Their confidence is the only thing that gives me hope. Exactly. Um, I don't support McClelland. I don't support law enforcement. I support the process of justice. We can't have vigilante justice, and we can't um, just let law enforcement do whatever they want. But we do need law enforcement to conduct the investigation like we would want them to do for our family, so that we could. It's just a process. It's a system that we have set up in the country, and we need to go by it. So when I see them confident, it gives me hope. It makes me say, hey, look, these guys got what they need. They're going to get their conviction, but it's holding on a string because we may have somebody potentially even more violent. What if Richard Allen is just the down the hill guy and the guy, there's somebody else swinging the sharp weapon? I'm more concerned about the guy swinging the sharp weapon than I am about the down the hill guy, because he's already in custody, right? And they're most likely betting or hoping that he's going to give them this other guy, unless it's just Richard Allen and others involved just happen to be like a Kagan Klein or a family or a friend who maybe helped pick him up, hide evidence. Who knows? But whoever's going to get us to those answers, I want to support them. Not politically, not politically, not emotionally. I just want to support them in that journey to find out who hurt those kids, because we can't forget what really happened out there. It was an absolute real life horror movie. I don't know about you guys. Anybody that has teenagers, they're very innocent. They scare easy. They're not prepared for the world. They should have never gone through this. And I don't know. I don't know what else to do. Right. Let me pick a couple more comments, and we're gonna bounce. Yeah, thanks, Boston. I appreciate that. Let's go to Matt Sullivan. In my opinion, Ron Logan and Richard Allen are involved in the crime. There may be one other. All of this has been a moving and evolving theory, but I'm not sure. Yeah, and me, I just have to follow the evidence. All these conspiracies and all this stuff could be true, but I'm not going to go that route unless, if I could see it. I'm trying to look at everything and then kind of have it create a picture in front of me. And right now, the picture that I'm seeing is a Keegan Klein, a connection that we don't know of between him and Richard Allen, providing access to the account, and then something that happened on the third and between the 3rd and the 12th of February before the crime. There was motivation created there for Richard Allen to do what he did. What that is, I don't know. I don't know if they were setting up the girls, creating this elaborate plan uh, to commit first degree murder, to do something that we're not aware of yet. Jerry with the super chat. Thank you. You are a gentleman and a scholar, sir. I appreciate your support. Ruckus, happy Sunday to you, sir. Handsome Kent. Richard Allen went there to kill. He had his kill. Yeah, he looked prepared. He backed into CVS, had his head down. He's dressing unusually warm. I mean, Libby didn't even have a jacket on. Abby didn't even want one. They're planning on being out there for an hour or two on a warm day. They dressed accordingly. This guy who was on the bridge pulled up at the same time, 1:30 midday, when it should be at its warmest, and he looks like he's layered up. He looks like he's layered up, like he's waiting for a snowstorm. He's got a hoodie, a jacket, stuff shoved in or hanging from his neck or shoved in his pockets or something strapped around his waistline. He's there for a reason. And in my opinion, he's targeting those girls. Thank you, Ruckus. Same to you, buddy. All right, here's Brit. Hey, Brittany, did Pat Brown find the bodies? No, he did not. But he was one of the first people I heard to go up to the bodies. Was his truck also the one at the cemetery? Yes. All night? I don't know. He lost his keys. Not confirmed, but it is rumored that he did lose his keys, and there's proof on some radio chatter that his name is mentioned, that they also were looking for his keys. Just wondering if I have this correct. It's been a minute. I mean, you have it right, but is it confirmed? I don't know. Big Fish says, you too, Ruckus. MDR, welcome. What did Richard Allen tell his wife when they were sitting in their van while the house was getting searched? Yeah, that's a good question. Well, I mean, she has to know that he talked to the conservation officer. She has to know that he was there that day. Maybe she's been suspicious. I don't know. I don't want to accuse her of knowing. But then again, at the same time, like, how can she not know? Do I blame her? I don't know. Man, it's just this. It just shouldn't have happened. Don't go out committing murders and you don't have to worry about your wife being um, moments away from disowning you. Don't shame your entire family. It's simple. Don't go commit a crime against a child, and you won't have anything to worry about. It really is pretty simple. All right, let me find one more. 43 Goblin, what's up? It's a good question. And apparently a lot of people seen him. They've seen a young person too. Thanks for participating, Brittany. And we're going to get out of here right now. I just wanted to hang out for a little bit. Yeah, the same person who reported seeing a guy on the bridge also saw Abby and Libby walking towards the bridge shortly after they were dropped off, according to the probable cause affidavit for Richard Allen. $45 is, yeah, that's really cold for me. Shit, it's supposed to be like 95 today here. Yep, that is true. Hey, Melly. Weekend. I'll see you on Monday, same time. Peace.